Hello, and welcome to Shell Point Today for Tuesday, May 17th. I'm Adam Brown. On today's show, Heather Battey will talk with a registered nurse from Lee Memorial about preventing chronic health conditions. And we'll pay a visit to the Island Creativity Tunnel to sit in on a woodworking class using the lathe. But first, don't miss the opportunity to visit the Octagon Wildlife Sanctuary in Punta Gorda, where they rescue and rehabilitate exotic wildlife. Lions, ocelots, bears, otters, primates, and more find the care they desperately need at Octagon. Come enjoy this self-guided tour of their facility and a tasty lunch at BJ's in Fort Myers. The cost of the outing is $18 with lunch on your own. Court pickups begin on the island at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, so make sure you get signed up. It's time for the Computer Club's monthly meeting this Thursday at 2:15 in the Manatee Room. This will be the last meeting until October, so join Mike Peterson as he addresses general questions about computers and related technology. A wide range of interesting issues will be covered. That's this Thursday at 2:15. This weekend, you'll have the opportunity to enjoy an authentic Cuban lunch at Martha's Cuban Cafe in Fort Myers. Their reputation for authenticity is locally known, and you can experience their Cuban sandwiches rated among the top 10 in Southwest Florida. You'll also enjoy their wonderful coffee when you join this outing on Saturday. The cost of the trip is $7 with lunch on your own. Court pickups begin on the island at 10:30. Did you know that 1 in 4 individuals have 2 or more chronic health conditions? Do you know how to prevent many of these conditions? Well, registered nurse Sharon Krispinski from Lee Memorial has the answers for you in tomorrow's Health Connections class, Preventing Chronic Health Conditions. Here's Heather Battey speaking with Sharon to tell us more.
Hi, I'm Heather Battey with Resort Services. Today I'm here with registered nurse Sharon from Lee Memorial Health Systems. Hi Sharon, how are you today?
Hi Heather, great. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You're here for your upcoming Health Connection program, Preventing Chronic Health Conditions.
Yes.
You can do it.
Yes.
So what is this program all about?
Well, what I'm going to discuss at this presentation is 1 in 4 individuals have 2 or more chronic health conditions, but yet many of these chronic health conditions can be prevented, and that's what we're going to discuss.
Now, when you say chronic, what is the difference between chronic and just a regular health condition?
Yes, well, chronic health conditions are something that you have to live with and manage every day of your life. It could be diabetes, it could be heart disease, high blood pressure, respiratory problems, even depression is a chronic health condition. Acute conditions are conditions that you could go see a physician and they'll give you some medication or some instruction, and it only lasts for a short period of time, maybe a week or 2, and then you're over that condition.
Oh, okay. So these are, like you said, lifelong things that you learn to deal with. So in this presentation, you'll be talking about things that you can do to prevent or...
Yes. What I'll be doing is I'll be going over a toolbox of different tools that we can use to self-manage chronic health conditions and prevent further chronic health conditions. So we'll be talking about such things as healthy eating, the importance of physical activity, getting a good night's sleep, dealing with difficult emotions that often accompanies having chronic health conditions, and much more.
Wow, okay. So is this something that you are certified in, or how did you get involved with this?
Heather, I've been in chronic disease management for almost my entire career. About 25 years I've spent in teaching people how to manage chronic health conditions. I'm also a certified diabetes educator. I've been in education for about the same amount of time.
Was there something that got you interested in this kind of path?
Well, I'm very much focused with health and wellness, and food is truly medicine, and that's a real passion of mine. I'm teaching people how to eat healthy so that we can live a healthy and long quality of life.
And that's so important too, and especially learning to eat healthy while it still tastes good. I know some people think if they're going to eat healthy, it's not going to taste good, so they don't try. So learning these things that are going to prevent these chronic conditions is wonderful. Your program is coming up Wednesday, May 18th. It's going to be at 2 o'clock in the Oak Room.
Yes.
So if you're interested in coming to this program, make sure you register at either service desk. Again, it's Preventing Chronic Health Conditions. You can do it. May 18th in the Oak Room at 2 p.m. Thank you, and stay happy and healthy.
Every day in the Creativity Tunnel on the island, residents produce some of the most beautiful and fascinating works of art. The woodworking shop is no exception, but not everyone started out as a skilled craftsman. Hey, we all got to start somewhere. And recently, some of our residents had the opportunity to start with the lathe. The lathe is a machine tool that rotates a piece of wood on its axis to perform various operations such as cutting, sanding, knurling, drilling, or facing to create an object with symmetry about an axis of rotation. Phil Nedeau taught a class on the lathe for beginners recently, and we were there to discover, along with his students, what it's like to work with these machines.
So down here with Phil in the wood shop, because we got wind of a little class going on about wood turning, and it turns out Phil's doing several of these classes. And tell us about the wood turning, Phil.
We're taking it from anywhere from nothingness. We're going from a square piece of wood to round, and we're going to make a sea urchin.
Great. So we got several of these going this summer. Are there any slots open at all?
There are no slots open at the moment. In fact, we have a waiting list.
Okay. So wood turning, which is, as you see here on these beautiful lathes that are in the wood shop, is one of the more popular things to do, and we've got some actual wood turning artists now among the residents who never touched one of these machines until they came here to Shell Point.
True.
And Floyd Fote and some others that have done some amazing prize-winning work, right?
Yes.
So this is something you might want to check out. Now, the wood turning classes are full for the summer. However, the wood shop is not closed to you, is it?
Yes. If after our wood turning class, if you have an idea what you want to do, or even if you want to learn how to turn, contact me in the wood shop and we'll make an appointment and you can come on down and start turning. We'll start you on a lathe.
There you go.
It doesn't have to be a formal class.
And really, this wood shop here is equipped with the best of everything that there is, pretty much.
We make sure of that.
Yeah, and Phil here keeps the blades sharp, keeps the bits available, all the things you need, and he's the expert here who's basically saying, hey, he'll guide you through step by step. If you want to make something, if you want to fix something.
All you have to do is come in with an idea. And if you don't have an idea, we have hundreds of magazines you can get an idea from.
That's fantastic. So the Shell Point Wood Shop is a tremendous amenity that you have here at Shell Point. Who knows, even if you've never thought about making something out of wood or using a power tool or something, it's available to you. Maybe you should try something new. Come on down here and check it out. Even if you're not sure, just come and hang out for a while with the guys. Everybody's friendly down here. They'll show you what they're working on, all kinds of different projects, beautiful things that are being made, and maybe you'd like to try your hand at something like that too.
That's true. We don't discriminate. You can come in here and try anything you wish, as long as we give you a little safety information and check you out on the tools, and you can build anything you wish, especially in the summertime, because we have a lot of people that go north in the summer, and so we get more free time. We do have a packed wood shop, but summertime is the best time to come in and try something.
So give it a thought. Check out the Shell Point Wood Shop. Who knows, you might have a inner woodworker waiting to bust out. I'm Dan Filgreen for Shell Point TV. So have you been involved with some crafts of some sort, woodworking of some sort in your life?
Never really. Once when my son was a wee blow, they dumped all this wood on my house and said, you got to build a track for their cars, and that was it.
The Pinewood Derby. Huh?
Pinewood Derby, and it took my whole summer. That's the only time I ever worked with anything as far as wood's concerned. My hope here is to really get it familiar with the shop.
Everything's here, obviously. It's an impressive shop, isn't it?
I do not. I walk past this. I've been here a little over a year, and I keep looking past it and say, I got to get started, and today's the day to start.
Excellent. No day like today to get into it, eh?
Right.
You checking out the wood turning, and have you done any kind of woodworking before in your life?
I've done woodworking, but not with a lathe. Today is my first day on the lathe.
And they're kind of expensive, so it's not like what most of us have at home in our home wood shops necessarily.
That is true. I don't know how much they cost, but I think they're more than I would want to buy.
And we not only have one available here, there's a whole collection. If you want to try wood turning, there's some lathes here.
I think it's great. I've been at Shell Point a little over a year, and I've walked past the wood shop any number of times, and I see a lot of guys in here, and I taught for 38 years at a college for men, and so I'm used to going into places, where it's all men. But again, I was a little intimidated, and that they had this class going on. I thought, well, there's my chance to get in and play around, and girls didn't take wood shop back in junior high, so it was a chance to come and do that and learn something, so I've been really happy with it.
Well, great. Now, do you have something in mind, something you'd like to do with wood turning, a project of some sort?
No, not yet. I think I just want to learn the toys and how to play with them, and then figure out things from there.
Well, this is a good place to come and play.
And now it's time to take a look at today's happenings, Academy news, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hello and welcome to the Happenings segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Bev Chanley and I'm here with Caitlin Van Scoy, and we're going to go over the activities we offer for you here today at Shell Point. We're going to start bright and early at 7:15 with a House Connections class, Bend, Breathe, and Balance. That's in the tarpon room down in the tunnel. We have round robin doubles tennis at 8 o'clock. And at 8:15, the Stamp Ministry will be down in the stamp room in the tunnel. The Ladies Golf Association will be at the Shell Point Golf Club at 8:30. And the card making and scrapbooking group will be in the tarpon room at 9:15. Also at 9:15, we have the Caregiver Support Group Therapy in the conference room of Medical Center. And we have the Memory Care Group meeting at 9:15 at the conference room of Behavioral Health. Open painting will be in the art studio in the tunnel at 9:15. And finally, our last 9:15 activity is shuffleboard. That'll be at the shuffleboard courts. That's behind the Resident Activity Center. Match play mixed doubles tennis will be going on at 9:30. And at 10 o'clock, the Susie Q heads out to Woody's Waterfront Restaurant. You do need to sign up for those trips. At 10:15, we have a Health Connections class, Refresh with Aromatherapy. That's in the Social Center. And Through the Bible study will be in the Osprey Room at 10:15. Our Caregiver Support Group Therapy will be at 10:30 in the conference room of the Medical Center. And also at 10:30, we have the Memory Care Group in the conference room of Behavioral Health. That concludes the morning. Here's Caitlin to tell you what's going on this afternoon.
Thank you, Bev. We start at 12:30 with Mixed Progressive Bridge in the game room of the Woodlands. And the Knitters group will be gathering in the Osprey Room at 1:15. The Women's Ministries Prayer for Missions will meet at 1:15 in the choir room of the Village Church. Then we move to 1:30 for the Stamp Ministry. They'll be gathering in the Sable Room at the Woodlands. Fun and fitness will take place in the community room of King's Crown at 1:45. Then we move to 2:45 for Health Connections class, Osteo Break Free. That's in the Tarpon Room. That one is currently full. At 6:45, the Southwest Florida Handbell Ensemble will be giving a concert, so head on down to the Social Center for that. That's all we have for the Tuesday. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Terry Colath with your Academy information for Tuesday. At 9 o'clock, our class on italic calligraphy and flourished italics continues in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. Writing your memoirs continues in the Buttonwood Room of the Woodlands. And Yachts That Went to War will take place in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands, and you can sign up right at the door. At 4:30, English, History, and Culture will be presented in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands. Again, you can sign up right at the door. I'd like to tell you about a new class coming tomorrow with Dr. Andrew Hawkins, Senior Pastor of our Village Church. I've been wondering. I'd like to take a moment to talk to anyone who has some extra time you'd like to spend this summer making life better for our friends and neighbors in the Larson Pavilion. One opportunity is greeting people at the front desk, but there are more. Please give me a call if you'd like to hear about them.
Menus for Tuesday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is turkey divan with brown rice pilaf and roasted beets. The dinner special is the turkey buffet for $13.95, and the soup of the day is chicken and white bean chili. In the Island Cafe, the daily sandwich special is blackened tilapia sandwich with coleslaw for $7.75. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are yellowfin tuna with stir-fry veggies for $20.95, or chicken saltimbocca for $15.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Janet Howard. And Janet is one of our wonderful, not only parishioners, but she was a staff member at the Village Church and worked here, but even before that was an international worker with the Christian and Missionary Alliance, which was the denomination with which the Village Church is associated. And Janet, as we have often mentioned, the middle name of the Christian and Missionary Alliance is?
Missionary.
That's exactly right. And so that's because we've always had, in the history of our denomination, a concern for the world, haven't we?
Absolutely. And it's still on my heart. And I know it's on yours too.
Absolutely. And it's on our heart because it was on Jesus' heart, wasn't it?
It was.
And he expressed that. Tell us what the most clear expression of that was in the Scriptures.
Well, you know, we talk about the Great Commission. Jesus had last words for his disciples. He was going to heaven. He'd been alone with them. And now if he's gone, what's going to happen to this great news? Is it just going to die? No, he says, you're all invited to be participating. Shed this news all over the world. Of course, those disciples didn't get as far as I did in Indonesia, but that's our task. Everyone following Jesus' disciples, as we are involved in telling the good news.
That's right. And so that passage at the end of Jesus' earthly ministry, after he was raised from the dead, he tells the disciples to go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and then he promises his presence. And we call that the
Great Commission.
The Great Commission, exactly.
It could be the Great Commandment, but I like the Great Commission.
That's exactly right. So that's the way we tend to think of it, and certainly it's like you just mentioned. The last words of someone, especially Jesus, ought to be taken very seriously. And we do take that seriously. And as a result, we look at our church and the organization that we're associated with, and I think many other evangelical organizations look at it the same way. This Great Commission is really what propels us forward to do the things that we do.
And we're not the only ones doing it. Many other churches and groups are doing it. But we have a little part. And we're involved in it because, I guess, because we take it personally.
That's right. And so the international program, essentially, or the missions program of our denomination, the Christian and Missionary Alliance, is funded by what we call the Great Commission Fund, because it's associated with the task that Jesus gave to the church in general. And so let's talk a little bit about the uniqueness of the kinds of missions programs that our denomination has engaged in literally for more than a century. What's been some of the unique characteristics that you think of as being one of the international workers that has been all over the world that characterizes the Christian and Missionary Alliance approach?
You know what I like about the approach is that, first of all, we're going to make disciples. And so we're going into countries where people really don't have the knowledge of Jesus and share that love. And then as people accept Christ and his love for them and get on board with his plan, then they are encouraged to get involved with other people and also to disciple them. And then pretty soon a church grows in that area. But it's not the end, that little church in that area. But then they're encouraged to grow those churches. And then, and I saw this happen in Indonesia, then that church says, but there are other areas outside of our country that haven't heard. So let's send people to more countries. And so I think that's the the most beautiful thing about the Alliance way of doing missions is not just to scatter, the scattergun approach, but get a church involved, and then more churches, local churches, and then those churches send out people to new areas. And it was so exciting to see that happen in Indonesia.
Absolutely. And so many other parts of the world as well.
Yes.
It's exciting to see that, I think that we didn't want to be the kind of organization that would just go here and there without planning and preparation. We wanted to make sure that we could go someplace where we could establish an indigenous church, a church of people that would be discipled and trained who are native to that particular culture, but then who also would multiply themselves. And that has been marvelously successful because there are churches associated with Christian Missionary Alliance in more than 80 countries, and then and we have international workers in more than 60 now, which means there are also churches in countries that we don't have missionaries there any longer.
I know,
they're
which
just
is exciting.
fully prospering churches in
And
their
they're
own.
growing quickly.
They're growing quickly, and they're sending out international workers.
Which is really, really great.
That's been one of the great things about our understanding of the Christian Missionary Alliance. Now, the other thing that I think is unique about it is that that particular missions program is supported by what we call, as we mentioned, the Great Commission Fund, which is a little bit different than the way some other organizations might do it. When you were an international worker, you didn't have to raise your own support. You certainly went and communicated the program of a denomination on all the international work, and money then went into the Great Commission Fund and supported you and your husband, as well as other international workers, really all over the globe. And I think that's a wonderful way of doing it as we participate in that kind of work.
You know what I like about it is that so oftentimes when people want to be sent out, they don't have the core base to send them. And then, forgive me, but they kind of have to sell themselves.
Right.
And that makes people uncomfortable. Maybe they were not gifted as public speakers, but they were gifted in ministry.
Right.
But the way it works in the Christian Missionary Alliance is that the church says, yes, we want you, and now we will send you. But the neat thing is that churches from all over the United States are sending me.
That's right.
And so they know my name. They're praying for me. So it's not just like 4 churches that know me. It's like tens of churches, and they've all invested money for me and many others.
That's right.
And so it's a joyful.
Yeah, you have all that support from the home base, and it also frees you to do the real ministry that our international workers do without having to be sort of semi-professional fundraisers, which a lot of people end up doing. It is difficult. Now, in our approach here at the Village Church, we have a Global Impact Week, which is our sort of missions conference, which we have in a week in January. We have certainly special speakers who come in, and we share various dimensions of the program of the international work of the Christian Missionary Alliance, and that's always a wonderful way of really establishing the culture of missions with our own fellowship and in this community. But it's also valuable for us about halfway through the year of having what we call Great Commission Sunday to remind people to continue to give and perhaps even have a special over and above opportunity for giving to the Great Commission Fund because we want to make sure that our international workers are fully supported. And so that's what's coming up, isn't it?
And I like that because, sometimes you think, well, I did it in January. But then we need to be reminded. I don't know about you, but I need reminders.
Yeah.
And Great Commission Sunday, and when is it going to be? This month?
Well, we're going to talk about it this coming Sunday.
Good.
And material will be in our worship guides this coming Sunday. Good. And we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that we've just discussed a little bit as well. And then we'll receive an offering beginning the following week on May 22nd. And then that's what we're calling Great Commission Sunday. And of course, if people don't get it in right then, we'll certainly have opportunity to receive it anytime. But that's sort of the time frame for it. Good. And I think it's a great shot in the arm for our Great Commission Fund, especially in the summer when a lot of times churches and people have distractions, other interests, to be reminded, as you said, about the work that is being done and how we can contribute to that.
And not only that, it's in the summer that the international workers go overseas. It's mostly in the summer that they're transitioning.
That's right.
So that's when the costs are the highest, but that's when people are having a great time and forgetting the rest of the world.
That's
So
right.
I like this.
That's right.
This is great.
So we do that each summer, and we're doing it once again just coming up. We'll talk about it this coming Sunday, receive an offering the next week, and we certainly trust that people who have been very generous here at the Village Church will continue to support our international work.
And we are grateful. Truly.
Indeed we are. Well, listen, thank you for joining us on Village Church Connections, and we hope you engage very well with our international work as we see the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ not only unfolding here in our local community, but in fact our participation all across the globe is a significant part of who we are in the Village Church. God bless you, and we hope to see you soon.
Thanks for joining us today. Tune in again tomorrow when we'll learn what to do after calling 911. And Ruth Duber is cooking up some shrimp Newburg in her kitchen just for us. We'll look forward to you joining us then. I'm Adam Brown for this Tuesday, May 17th edition of Shell Point Today. We thank you for spending your time with us, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.